So again, the total set aside for the street lights was $760. In addition to this, we have another announcement, and I'm happy to announce this. We have a light that we've been working on at Kayenta and McMahon, which is up the street on McMahon, and it is now operational. And that the total amount from the set aside for this street light was $15,000, $12,000 from our former counselor's set aside, and $3,000 from my set aside. This has been in the works for about 3 years, and Tony Montano is a community member who we have been working on that particular issue. This corner was dangerous, and so we're working on many infrastructure changes to the west side. Today, I would like to introduce a couple of people to speak. First of all, I'd like to introduce Pat Montoya, the Director of Municipal Development Department. So would you please say a few words?
So, Councilor, thank you very much for the invitation. This is a great example of a partnership that works well between the administration, DMD, and City Council. Through the initiative from the councilor, we were able to look at the needs and the concerns that were raised by residents of the community here, and we're able to address them. This is a route that I take every day, and I find myself at times wondering why are cars going as fast as they are. So we're hoping that the speed signs themselves will sort of deter cars from driving as quickly and as fast as they're driving. We are always looking at ways to improve the streets themselves and the safety of the streets. If you look up just on golf course, we just restriped, we call it long lines. We have a major initiative going on throughout the entire city where we are striping all of the lane miles with either the yellow or the white lines. It's something that hadn't been done in many, many years, and it's allowing people to drive safely within their lane. We're just getting ready to announce a big project just north of here, West Side Boulevard. Hopefully by this time next year it will be under construction. We're actually widening West Side from 528 to Golf Course to 4 lanes with the bike lanes and sound walls and those sort of things. We're looking at concerns that have been raised along Irving from Golf Course all the way to Unser. So our department is constantly looking at ways of improving and making the routes that people take every day much safer than they are. But this is a prime example how residents, through their counselor, working with the administration, the end product is really a beneficial one to everyone. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the residents from the neighborhood. And again, if there are other needs, you now know the channel that you can follow and the way to get the attention that it deserves, and we're quite happy about that.
Thank you, Mr. Montoya. The next person that I would like to introduce, who is really spearheading this effort on golf course, is Mark Teague. Mark, would you come forward, please, and just say a couple of words? Thank you. Thank you.
We're very grateful for her help. We had been through the traffic calming committee, and we were turned down for this, and so we got in touch with Cynthia, and she's been with Councilor, and she's been very helpful, and we're looking forward to slowing down the traffic up and down both ends of Golf Course Road. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Careful. The next person that I would like to introduce to say a couple of words is Tony Montano. Tony has been working diligently with us over at Kayenta and McMahon to ensure that light, it's a street light, or rather a stoplight, that it's operational, and it is as of Friday.
Hi, I'm Tony Montano, and I'm very, very happy to say that it took me almost 3 years. I started working with the city probably at the end of 2015 with the previous administration, and then the minute Cynthia came on board, I figured I'd give her about a month or so. Then I started calling her, and then the ball got rolling. The light finally went up in March and got activated this last Friday. And the Seville neighborhood is so thankful that that light is up. We can now see that corner. It was so dark. And again, I want to thank Cynthia and all of her team and everybody that worked on this to get that lamp post going. Thank you.
I would like to thank the residents of Palmilla, and if there are, as Mr. Montano stated, if there are other traffic issues that we need to be looking at, please contact my office. We are also and one other thing is I'd like to say is that we're also looking at Paseo to expanding it to 4 lanes, and I hope that I can get that done during my administration. So thank you all for coming out this afternoon. Do we have any questions?
Would any of the residents be comfortable just talking about some of the dangerous driving behavior you have seen in this area and what you hope changes?
Mark,
Yes, well, how I got involved in this is I belong to a sorority, and I scheduled a meeting here for us for our semi-annual meeting, and I scheduled it for Palmilla. And a very close friend of mine that I've known since 1959 was seriously injured when her driver was turning into this by the oncoming cars coming down the hill. She will never have the use of her right arm again. She's a right-handed person. She broke 5 ribs. She had severe pains from just the seat belts alone. She had numerous others, and it was impossible for them to operate on her arm because of her own heart condition. So it's been my thought was that we need to look into doing something, and it was personal, and I'm just very grateful for all this attention to the problem here. Thank you.
So I just wanted to mention that when I was approached, there were several accidents, both from the senior center and the apartments across the street. So that was what actually got my attention when I started meeting with the seniors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out.